Good evening. This is the Sultanate of Oman television, and now the news. First, the headlines. With a wide participation, the Sultanate's Pavilion in Expo Milano 2015 celebrates its National Day. Turkish jet strike camps belonging to Kurdish militants in northern Iraq. Several people are killed by Arab-led coalition airstrikes in the Yemeni province of Taiz. Good evening. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television. The news. First, and here we have the details. With a wide participation, the Sultanate's Pavilion in Expo Milano 2015 celebrates its National Day. Turkish jets strike camps belonging to Kurdish militants in northern Iraq. And several people are killed by the Arab-led coalition airstrikes in the Yemeni province of Taiz. And now the details. The Sultanate's Pavilion at Expo Milano 2015 marked the National Day with wide participation from Italian official figures, diplomats and media men, along with the organizing committee and representatives of brotherly and friendly countries' pavilions. The celebration included a promotion show about the Sultanate as a tourist destination, a traditional show and Omani costumes exhibition. The event also included Omani photo exhibition and Omani hospitality corner that served some Omani and Italian dishes. The Sultanate's participation delegation was chaired by His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Jafar al-Sajwani, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Wealth and member of the Ministerial Committee to supervise the preparation for the Sultanate's participation at Expo Milano 2015. In his speech, the celebration of Oman's National Day at the Expo Milano 2015, His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Jafar al-Sajwani, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, conveyed the greetings and best wishes of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos to His Excellency the President, Prime Minister, the government and the people of Italy on the occasion of convening of the exhibition. He also said that the Sultanate participation at this significant international event came to embody its keenness of cooperation and coordination among the world countries on food security. He added that achieving food security is a significant pillar of Sultanate's sustainable development policy through a package of policies aiming to increase agricultural, livestock and fisheries production. From his side, His Excellency Andrea Olivero, Italian Deputy Minister of Agriculture, praised the Sultanate's participation through its pavilion at Expo Milano 2015. He pointed out that the Sultanate's Pavilion embodies its efforts in the field of food production through using various means and sheds light on its natural beauty and architecture. He stressed that the closeness between the Sultanate and Italy will contribute considerably to the success of the exhibition. The Travelers Oasis is considered one of the touristic projects in the Governorate of the Far, which aims at providing tourists with various information and services during the Kharif season. It guides the visitors throughout all the attraction services, activities and places to discover in all the wilayas of the Governorate of the Far. It also offers car rental services and features a list of accommodations including hotels and hotel apartments. It has a number of facilities including a playground for children, prayers halls, restaurants, in addition to sections for communications and consumer protection. Still to come in our news bulletin. A second life is given for the blue gold of France's southwest. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Turkish jets struck camps belonging to Kurdish militants in northern Iraq, authorities said today. The first strike since a peace deal was announced in 2013 and again bombed Daesh group positions in Syria. The strikes in Iraq targeted the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, whose affiliates have been effective in the battling the Daesh group. The strikes further complicate the US-led war against the extremists, which has relied on Kurdish ground forces making gains in Iraq and Syria. Prime Minister Ahmed Davutoglu announced a few hours later that he had ordered a third wave of raids against Daesh group in Syria and a second wave of strikes against the PKK in northern Iraq, which were ongoing. The Arab-led coalition airstrikes on Yemen's ties killed at least 55 people and left tens injured. It has been bombarding Houthi forces in Yemen since late March in a bid to reinstate President Abdul Rabbu Mansour Hadi, who has fled to Riyadh. The number of casualties is expected to rise as rescue services are still working in the area, and several of those injured and transferred to nearby hospitals are in serious condition. US President Barack Obama told African entrepreneurs in Kenya today they could help counter violent ideologies and drive growth in Africa, and said governments had to assist by ensuring the rule of law was upheld and by tackling corruption. He had these to say.
We are joined today by inspiring entrepreneurs from more than 120 countries, and many from across Africa. And all of you embody a spirit that we need to take on some of the biggest challenges that we face in the world. The spirit of entrepreneurship, the idea that there are no limits to the human imagination, that ingenuity can overcome what is and create what needs to be. So this is our first Global Entrepreneurship Summit in Sub-Saharan Africa. We wanted to come here. I wanted to be here because Africa is on the move. Africa is one of the fastest growing regions of the world. People are being lifted out of poverty, incomes are up, the middle class is growing, and young people like you are harnessing technology to change the way Africa is doing business, as President Kenyatta alluded to. And that creates incredible opportunities for Africans and for the world. It means more growth and trade that creates jobs in all our countries.
That was American president in Kenya. A Greek official said today that talks between Greece and its international creditors over a new bailout package should go ahead on Monday after logistical issues that delayed meetings this week are resolved. The meetings with officials from the European Commission, European Central Bank and International Monetary Fund had been expected to start on Friday, but were delayed by organizational issues, including the location of talks and security. The Finance Ministry official said talks were now expected to get underway formally on Monday after the logistical issues were resolved. A window in southwest France revives an ancient blue dye that once brought riches to the region, was loaded in Chaucer's poetry and used for uniforms in Napoleon's army. Here is a report.
Green on the outside, but a precious kind of blue on the inside. Commonly known as woad, this plant carries within it a dye that was all the rage during the Renaissance. Half a millennium later, Denise has revived an ancient tannery in the southwest region of France to retrieve it.
The
leaves soak in the water and lose their mucilage. That's what the natural protective film around the plants is called. To let the colour spill out, you need to take away the mucilage.
When Denise moved here 2 decades ago, she was intrigued by the color of her new home's shutters. After discovering the history of blue gold, she launched a company that now produces 600 kilograms of the dye every year.
The royal family wore it. It's a complex colour that symbolises the sky and the heavens. The Virgin Mary is in blue, so the kings of France, who were very Catholic, wanted to be associated with this colour too.
Woad was brought over from Anatolia in the 15th century and used to dye uniforms for Napoleon's army, before falling into disuse when cheap indigo from India pushed it out of the market. After years of experimentation, Denise finally has the recipe for the ancient dye down to a T. The liquid from the leaves is poured into a tank where the pigments start to hold. Once dipped in, the fabric continues to darken as it dries.
In a few minutes, you'll be able to tell the difference between them. This one's finished. This one is still oxidizing.
The dye, all natural and non-staining, has wooed designers like Dior and Chanel. Denise hopes to boost production and take the traditional pastel to the United States, where she will open a new factory with her son and daughter.
Now for the general weather forecast. Cloud skies will prevail over the coastal areas and the nearby mountains of the Governorate of the Far, with chances of intermittent drizzle. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of clouds and scattered rainfalls over the Hajar Mountains and the nearby areas towards the afternoon. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly light to moderate along the coast of Sea of Oman and the Governorate of Musandam, while it will be south to southwesterly light to moderate, occasionally active along the coast of Arabian Sea. Seas along the coast of Arabian Sea will be rough with the maximum wave height of 4 meters, and rest of the coast it will be slight with the maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. That was a display of the weather forecast, and would like to apologize for the technical faults at the beginning of the news. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. With a wide participation, the Sultanate's Pavilion in Expo Milano 2015 celebrates its National Day. Turkish jets strike camps belonging to Kurdish militants in northern Iraq. And several people are killed by Arab-led coalition airstrikes in the Yemeni province of Taiz. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and studios, it's good night.